Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Noelle and today I would like to talk to you guys about why I decided to read One Piece. So this is sort of a response video to my video that I initially made, which was convinced me to read these popular series, and I had a lot of people in my comments saying, hey, please update us if you decide to read the series. And so I have decided to read One Piece. I have already picked it up. Sorry guys, I'm like not used to seeing myself with glasses. I feel like I look literally like I could be this stunt double for Moaning Myrtle. Like, this is a Moaning Myrtle cosplay. Anyway, I feel like One Piece was one of the most commented about series on that video, and it's also the only manga on there. And I am not a manga reader. I haven't read a manga since I was in elementary school. I haven't really watched anime very much since I was in middle school, though I was kind of like brought up on it and I did enjoy it. So it's not to say that it's not something that I'm interested in, it's just something that I have fallen off from. I've never read a manga series like all the way through. Really, I read like some Pokemon books and probably other little whatever books they had in my school library at the time. But yeah, so it was one of the most commented about series. It's fantasy and it's manga and there's pirates, and like really what more could you ask for, because there's so much that you could do with that. And so let me go ahead, and I have my notes here. So I took from a couple of the comments my last video, which was why I decided to read A Game of Thrones, the first book in A Song of Ice and Fire. I read off some of the comments. Now this video I kind of don't want to do that for, because there were quite a bit of comments, and when people talked about One Piece they got very passionate, which was one reason why I decided I wanted to read it, because people are very passionate about their love for the series, and I love that. By the way,
feel free to comment at any point in time in this video. If I will read them all and I will comment and respond to you no matter how long it is. Don't care, just please don't spoil me on the series because I have just barely started.
Now, with that being said, I decided that I didn't want to read off the comments like I did in my previous video, because when people did talk about One Piece, the comments were so long, and I really don't want to sit here for 30-40 minutes reading comments to you guys, because I feel like that will just be, you know. So I took kind of the main gist of everything and I put it into sections. So first off, I want to say that a lot of people consider this to be a must read for manga and a must read for fantasy, which I think is very interesting. Now obviously, like, if people are absolutely not interested in manga, they probably wouldn't recommend it to them. That just makes sense. However, people are telling me it's a must read. With that plus all the passion and everything, it's something I decided I wanted to read all the way through, very possibly. So firstly, similar readers love it, like Murphy Napier and Mike's book reviews, which I think that I mention him in probably all of my videos, because I do find that the things that he recommends are really interesting. Also, Patrick Leo, I believe he also loves this series, and he just has so many good reviews and things that he talks about. So let me go ahead, and I have four different sections for each thing that I'm really intrigued by. So one is world building. The world building, from what I've seen from the comments, is unique. It's creative. There are different islands that these different characters go to, and this is a pirate story. If you don't know what it's about, I'll kind of go through each section and you'll get the gist. And that basically, it sounds like it's never going to be boring. It's never going to be one note. It's never going to be like, oh, you're just sitting in an office room, chilling the whole time. You're just in the cabin of the ship the whole time, like for 1,000 chapters. No, this is like you're going to different islands, you're meeting different people, you are just immersed in this world. And I had someone say that the world was gonna stick with them forever, because that's how impactful it was and just how real it was to them, that they're like, yeah, this world is gonna stick with me forever. You know, that they care about it. They care about not only the characters but also the world. And I was like, wow, that's just beyond, you know, that is very, very interesting. I feel like that's kind of in a similar way how I feel about Lord of the Rings. Like, I care about the places, I care about kind of what happens within the world, probably because I've been attached to Lord of the Rings for so long, and it's technically supposed to be like a fantastical human history, basically history of the world, where I cared about the Ents. I cared about if the Ents found the Ent wives, which anyway, basically all I have for the world building, at least that sort of section. And then the next part is the crew, which is mentioned the most. Obviously you have Luffy, who is the main character, who is funny, yet he's got more to him than just that. He's not just a young kid who, you know, there's all the funny anime faces and like all the or manga faces and everything. Like, it's not just a funny like kid manga. It is so much more than that, and the characters have so much depth to them, and that I have seen that a lot of people said that the found family is the found family of all of fiction, which I'm like, that is a major claim. First of all, you brave, you wild for that. And that this is some of the best women written in manga by a male especially, and I had women and men in my comments saying that the women were written well, and that was one of the things that I was concerned about, and that I am concerned about in general for fiction and fantasy, because fantasy, we're trying to move past the point of having women being portrayed in certain ways, which I'm sure that you guys know and could guess of what I'm kind of talking about and getting at. And then also the different races and different cultures and different languages, which I had no idea about until I read the comments. I didn't really know much about the series until I read the comments, and it really kind of opened my eyes as to what this could be. Oh, I actually only have 3 sections. So the next section is the way the story is written. So from what I saw, it's very purposeful, it's very well thought out. The foreshadowing is amazing. Like, the author knew what he was doing from chapter 1. Like, they said that there's things that are being brought up and characters that are being brought up in the very beginning that don't show up until way later again, and they have these important parts of the story, and that everything is purposeful, which is how I feel about Robin Hobb. And so I'm kind of relating these in my mind to fantasy that I already enjoy in novel form, and going to a new medium of manga, which is something that I'm not used to, which we'll get to that in my initial thoughts portion. They said that there's a very good mystery, which I wasn't really thinking that, you know, oh, there'd be mystery in this, but of course there's pirates, there's treasure, there's adventure, of course there's going to be mystery. I've heard that from the characters to the world building and everything in between, this story is very complex, and my husband said that I should be taking notes like immediately once I started reading it. I kind of want to have fun with it, and I know that there are definitely a lot of helpful videos on YouTube that will help me out if I forget anything, but I'm really trying to train my brain to remember, and taking notes on the Kindle with a manga is very difficult, so we're just kind of gonna go with it. And plus I'm borrowing these books from the library, and not buying any of them, at least for right now. I've heard that the humor and the seriousness has a great balance. Like I said before, it is not childish, it's not just for kids, and honestly, if you do have your kid reading this, it might be a little concerning depending on how old they are and how comfortable you are with them in violence, because people are getting unalived in the first couple chapters. Kind of graphically, it's not terrible in my opinion, but it's a lot for, like, say a kid under 10 or 12. Try to think of like when I started playing Call of Duty, and probably 12, 13, something like that. I feel like that's an alright age, but everyone has their own thing. Yeah, another thing was that the themes of this story, you can tell that the author wanted to tell this story, but he also wanted to teach people life lessons through his story, and the themes of friendship and loyalty. Kindness is what one of the commenters said, and that, you know, it's not just about finding pirates doing really cool stuff and having really cool swordsmanship and, you know, shooting cannonballs and fighting other pirates. It is so much more than that. So I can already attest to that. So we're gonna get into my initial thoughts, because and this is 2 different kind of sections here, and the first part is going to be the characters. I can already tell, and I love when people are ambitious in their life in general. I love hearing people talk about the things that they love. Like, that is just something that is so exciting to me, because I'm an ambitious person, and so it gets me hyped up about like my own things, and gets me hyped up about what they're doing, about what you're doing. Like, I want to know, like, and so I love seeing the characters' ambitions of how they're so set in their ways, they're so strong-willed to do what they want to do. And I'm very, very, like, at the beginning stages of this story, knowing that there is going to be so much more, which is so exciting that there will be so much more. I can't wait to see where the characters go, and probably at chapter 12 is when I'm going to do my first official review. So yeah, and then the pirate crew is kind of not actually a pirate crew. I'm really interested to see where that's going to go, who all is going to be a part of the official crew, a part of the official found family. Zolo is BA, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I love Zolo. I'm sure that everyone does. Fighting with 3 swords is amazing, and I love seeing it in this medium because I know that, like, with battles and fights and swords and all this cool stuff, like, I can't always picture it. So being able to use a different medium and read manga is amazing because I am absolutely loving to just see picture by picture, and the author is also the artist, and he's just so good at his craft in both ways. And just the amount of emotion that is portrayed in just one simple look, I just love it so far. I'm rooting for the characters. They're the good guys, though they're not perfect, of course. Freaking Luffy has a giant head, but he can back it up, and I'm like, you know what? Go off, Luffy, like, go off. So the second part is going to be that I have questions, and that is so good for a beginning series, is that I have questions. I like when a book has me wondering what is going to happen, has me anticipating things. You know, who will the crew be? What are they going to endure? What kind of lessons are going to be taught? What kind of themes are going to be brought up? What kind of islands am I going to see? What kind of languages am I going to see? What kind of cultures am I going to see? What kind of different devil's fruits am I going to see in this story? And, you know, what type of pirates am I going to see? Like, I'm so excited to see where everything goes. Yeah, honestly, that's my initial thoughts. All my initial thoughts are very positive. I'm really enjoying the experience so far and enjoying the manga medium. If you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down in the comments below. Any thoughts, questions, concerns, anything that you want to talk to me about. If you want to just talk about life, we're all friends here. Like, let's just have a conversation. I am definitely appreciating this medium and going to appreciate going back and forth from reading One Piece and Game of Thrones at the same time, where they both have dark themes, but One Piece is a little bit happier, at least. Has a little bit more comedic relief anyway than Game of Thrones does, where it's just really just grim dark fantasy, serious epic fantasy. And yeah, I don't know, I'm really appreciating it. I think I'm really exercising my brain with the memory because I have memory issues I've talked about, and I think that using reading to my advantage is really nice, and it's really helpful. And I have loved the community that is being built here, and we're all talking with each other and having a good time, and I really appreciate that. So please do leave a comment down below. Like I said, I will read it. And other than that, I think that's about it. All positive, all good thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, positive or negative. Just be respectful. That's all. All right, well, y'all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and God bless.